All right, guys, going to be getting into another NBA DFS video. Obviously, this is going to be a small two-game slate on Super Bowl Sunday. So with that, it's going to be probably a day in which we are going to be playing some chalk. There's just no way around it. But we're going to try to do some game theory stuff to work around that. So getting into the top core plays, going to be showing you guys the first look build as well. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so I mentioned it could be a pretty chalky slate, and so we are going to see that, guys. It's going to be a chalky slate. Isaiah Stewart projected to be pretty high owned, which to me, we'll see about that. We'll see if we need to be on that chalk. I don't know if we need to be, and I guess I can just start the video off with that. Looking at 31 minutes, the issue here is the game is projected to be a blowout, and it's not projected to be a game that's high scoring. I know he's at a very soft price point and makes it easy to fit him into your build, and I know he's been playing, pretty productive lately as well. But do we trust him to really go off against Toronto? Let's look at the last couple of matchups. Charlotte, pretty good matchup. Phoenix, okay matchup given their injury situations in that game. Boston, that was a pretty productive game against Boston. Cleveland, at this price tag, we would take that production. And against the Spurs, you expect him to go off. So I would say, given the matchup, we're probably expecting 26 to 25 points, especially if the game's going to blow out, then the minutes are not going to be there as much. I think he's a solid play. I don't think he's a lock and no play. I don't think he should be the highest owned player on the slate. And for me, same could be said for Jalen Duren, who I don't mind as well. He just went off in his previous game as well. I just worry about the upside from these two players in this matchup. To me, it almost seems like we have to choose one or the other, okay? And that's the most difficult part on a small two-game slate. And we are seeing, just because Detroit is so low priced, and these younger guys are probably going to be locked into at least some minutes, the blowout risk is reduced a little bit minutes wise with those guys, so you can be on them a decent amount still. But looking at it, guys, we got news that Jaylen Brown's going to be out and Marcus Smart is still out. Malcolm Brogdon's probable, and Derek White is probable as well. So with those two off the court, we see Tatum get the most minutes. Okay. And then it's actually Sam Hauser. Okay. He gets the second most minutes. And now his per 36 production isn't huge. It's only about 27.5 points. But on the small two-game slate, if he gets around 30 minutes, I think that is going to be productive. And if we look at it, very cheap ownership compared to, I guess, Stewart and Duren. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to be a better play, but considering the price tag, can we get 28 DK points out of him? Well, Stewart and Duren give you 32 at $1,000 more. I do see that within the realm of possibilities. And this is going to be the more favorable game to chase as well. So to me, I could see a path in which you are potentially playing over those two to gain some leverage on the field. Now, Grant Williams does get some run as well, but I wouldn't chase that too much. Peyton Pritchard is someone people might be chasing value-wise, but the two clear-cut plays are Malcolm Brogdon and Derek White. So to me, given the nature of this slate, I'm going to start with the top two core plays on this slate. And it's going to be Derek White, number 2 to me. Okay, Derek White with those two off the court averages about 37 fantasy points per 36. And we can see those minutes have been there for him, has been highly productive. Okay, this is production that I'm going to chase. Okay, should be a strong price point play today, I guess. So we're playing him, I think, almost for sure. And then same could be said for Malcolm Brogdon. Malcolm Brogdon per 36 numbers, 41 fantasy points per 36 with those two off the court. Okay, sure, he's been a little bit banged up recently, but at this price tag, we are getting a nice safe floor, but we're also getting that upside, I think, as well, especially considering the matchup with Memphis. These two players are going to be tough to pass up on. And so I'm a little bit shocked that they aren't higher owned. 40% is a lot, but I would have assumed that those two would have been the highest projected owned on this slate. So I don't want to say be on them 50%, but I probably would be on them more than 50% on this slate, given their price tags, given their likelihood to outproduce those price tags. And if we just look at the top values on each slate, Al Horford popping up once again, and then we are getting into some of the Detroit value in there, and then also Derek White and Brogdon. That's pretty much going to be true for DraftKings as well. Now, if we look at the OF index, we can see that some of the starting points might actually be Jaren Jackson, Scotty Barnes, Bane, Ja Morant too at his price tag. It's going to be more difficult to afford to pay up for Tatum. And so right off the bat, we could see this could potentially be an edge as well. Just starting your builds out with a lower owned Ja Morant that is actually ranking out a little bit more consistent and safe as a play. Just slightly, 0.1, but that could be a way to get unique as well. And one thing to note, if Wiseman plays, how many minutes is he taking away from Duren and Stewart as well? That's just another thing to consider. Is this a stupid play we can make to gain some leverage on the field? A 3.2 Mike Muscala, we know we're only going to get 18 minutes max, but can he get 25 DK points at 3.2? Potentially. I'm not saying it's without the realm of possibilities. We are trying to find ways in which we can get unique on this two-game slate. And I kind of think this is one of those ways. We already know he's been a point-per-minute player this season. Get to find matchup against Memphis. I would be fine with that approach It's risky, but it could be rewarding. One thing that I'm just monitoring is Pirtle's minutes, because if he is someone that starts to see, consistently getting 30 minutes, that is highly intriguing to me. I would say it's a little bit too risky tonight, but there's going to be a game in which he goes off where we didn't probably see it coming. I'm not saying that's happening tonight, but maybe you chase that. I probably wouldn't do it too much. So here's a way to both play a chalky build, but also a upside build it's not like too crazy. Sure, we're getting the 4 out of the top 6 highest owned. Okay, White, Brogdon, Duran, and Stewart. I don't want to end up on them, but I also get why people are. Like, am I going to make some one-off decisions to go to someone like Mike Muscala? Probably. Okay. And I'm going to make some like random dumb decisions, hoping that we get lucky is pretty much it. Obviously, that's the name of the game half the time. And so I went with Tillman because I didn't feel comfortable going with Hayes at his price tag, which you could easily do. I guess if we were able to get up to Ivy, I would have liked that better. But I don't know if I would want to get off of John Morant to do that, because if we do that, then we're stuck with like Pascal Siakam, which can he go off tonight? He certainly could against Detroit, but it also feels like he's priced up too much. So let's just do that, I guess, in one Siakam, and then we can actually afford to pay up for maybe Gary Trent Jr., who's fine. Like, there just are plenty of ways to get unique on the slate if you need to. But that's it for today's video, guys. Have a fun Super Bowl Sunday. I hope all your lineups cash and your bets cash as well. Let's enjoy the day, and we'll get at it tomorrow. All right, thanks for watching, and as always, good luck.